Hey everybody. So today got a little pond project going on today. What we're doing is we are building a PVC cube to put in the water. So what we're going to do is I've got like almost 8 bricks down at the bottom of the pond there, holding up that piece of flagstone that's creating kind of a cave for the fish to swim in and out of and feel a little safe and protected. But those bricks do take up a lot of room down there. So what I want to do is create something that that flagstone can sit on top of and the fish can kind of swim in and out of easily, and it doesn't take up as much room, which will give the fish more space to all be underneath the flagstone in case they all feel like if they're threatened by something. So what we got here is we've got some PVC pipe right here with some elbow joints, and we got some PVC pipe that we've been cutting, and so we'll see how it turns out. Meanwhile, I've got a couple flowers and a new hibiscus bush to see if it will grow, and we also got some bulb type plants, so we're going to plant those around the pond to see if we can do any better. We do have all the turtles are outside, or at least all the land turtles. Darwin, I just brought him outside a little while ago, and he's hiding underneath one of the boxes already. So you see Darwin's right there, and let's see if we can find the other box turtles. I haven't been out here to look for the box turtles yet, so I don't know what they're up to. But last night what they did is Tex and Sokka, they discovered the little cave underneath the astroturf, and that's where they've been spending the nights. So it must be warm underneath there. They must like that. So they're up underneath there most of the time, and I bet that's where they're at right now. So we won't disturb. Oh no, there's Tex right there. Tex is burrowed down inside the little roots right there. So that's Tex. Hi Tex. And let's see, there's Cinco, eating grass like a cow. And let's see, are there any other turtles out here? Looking. I cut down all the little bulbs right there, they're all dying, but hopefully they'll start growing back. In fact, it looks like one's growing back already. In fact, let's step in here. Try to make sure I don't step on any turtles. But you can see the lilies, the giant lilies, they're already growing back. So they're coming back already, which is good. I don't know if this elephant ear plant is going to come back or not. Not quite sure. If it comes back, it's supposed to come back down by the roots, so we'll see. And we'll see if Zuko is back here. Yeah, there's Zuko. So Zuko likes to hang out down here. There he is. He likes to hang out. He loves to come to this spot. I don't know why, but he loves to come to this spot and hang out right there. There might be like some kind of like little bugs there that he eats, because I know that's where I see a lot of little lizards in there. But I did get some pond plants the other day. You see the algae is floating. The algae is dying, and it's floating to the top, so I need to get a strainer and strain it. But I did get a couple of pond plants, although they're not quite legal here in Texas. That's a hyacinth, and this is some water lettuce. The water turtles, once I put them out here, they'll probably eat that water lettuce. But the hyacinths, they actually get a really pretty flower, but they are invasive species down here in Texas. And I found some at local rivers, so I went ahead and took them out of the river and brought them here. So the water turtles, though, once I bring them out, they'll probably eat all the water lettuce. I'm not sure what they'll do with the hyacinths, but they will definitely eat the water lettuce. And you see a couple of the lilies that survived the winter and the freeze, they're in there pretty good. I got a brand new pump coming, and so we're going to install that once it shows up, but it should pump this water a lot better. The 2 little pumps I have in there are basically for like little tiny waterfalls. So the new pump I got coming is supposed to be able to pump like 1,000 gallons of water an hour, and which will help keep the water clean, and it'll keep it a bit better for the fish. But the fish are doing good. You can kind of see them up underneath the water. don't know if you can see through the reflection, but they're there. But anyway, we're going to build them a little cave and see how that works. All right. All right, so this is the PVC cube that I built. So it's going to go down into the pond. So it's about, let's see what I measured. I think it's 9 inches tall and almost 16 inches long. And then it's another about 9 inches wide. That way, hopefully the whole PVC pipe stuff will stay hidden underneath the rock so that you won't see it. But anyway, now the next thing I got to do is I have to drill holes in the PVC because it will float. And so by drilling holes in it, that'll let water get into it and that'll keep it weighed down so that I don't have to worry about it floating or anything like that. Anyway, so we're going to drill a couple holes in it. Okay, so you can see the PVC box down there, or the cube down there in the water. It's taller than I thought it was. I thought I cut it shorter, but it's cool because maybe someday when I have a bigger pond, I'll still be able to use it. But anyway, it looks like it's going to work really good. And if it does, if I like the way it works here, I'm probably going to do the same thing over there by the waterfall feature. Because right now I'm using bricks to kind of hold up that rock where the water's cascading over. But anyway, I didn't have 8 bricks. I had 16 bricks in there holding up this piece of flagstone. So anyway, we're going to put the flagstone on, and then we'll put on this little cap rock. And if it's a little high, that's all right. The turtles will end up liking it. They'll end up basking on that flagstone if it's above the water line. So the turtles will like it. The fish will have a whole lot more room to swim up and underneath there for protection. So I think it's going to work out good for everybody. All right, so let me put the flagstone on and we'll see what happens. Oops. All right, so that's how the flagstone looks sitting on top of the PVC cube. It's just barely above the water line, so you can kind of see the water line lapping up against the very top part of the flagstone. And honestly, I think I'm going to leave it like that. I don't think I'll put this bigger rock on top of it that it used to be. I think the turtles are really going to like being able to get on top of that and bask in the sunlight or take a rest. So this turned out pretty good. I like the idea. It gives a lot more area underneath it for the fish to swim in. You can see they got a whole lot more area. They'll just have to get used to it. So anyway, I think it turned out pretty good. So it gives them a little more freedom and places to move around so they can feel safe, get away from any predators that happen to come in the backyard. Of course, Cinco stays in the backyard all day long, so he protects the fish and makes sure the turtles aren't causing too much trouble. But you can see the koi swimming around and you can see the comets. So the next thing is like I said, I have a new pump coming. So I got 2 little pond pumps in there that aren't particularly good. I think they only pump about maybe 500 gallons an hour. But the one I'm getting is supposed to be about 1,000 gallons, and then I'm getting a different waterfall feature. It's called a bio falls. That's supposed to be better and take out more of the stuff that the string algae grows on. But anyway, I think the pond looks pretty good. The water looks really clear, which is good. I think the string algae that was growing back in December and early January, I think that's pretty much dying because I see clumps of it floating over there at the top. The vegetation is supposed to pretty much take all the nutrients out of the water, like all the debris and the waste that the fish put in there, that the turtles will end up putting in there. The plants are supposed to eat. And if they're eating it, that means that the string algae isn't eating it, and they won't be able to, the string algae won't grow then. But anyway, you can see the, I forget what the little pickerel rush, that's growing. That's a little version of it. And then this is the bigger version of it that was living over, that thing had taken over my little pot pond over there. But this thing is doing good. And then a couple of my lilies actually survived. So let's see, where's one of them? There's one of the lilies right there that survived. You can see the leaves kind of coming up, but no flowers. So we'll have to see if they get any flowers in the summer and in the spring. There's another one that's still under the water, hasn't broken the surface yet, but it's still alive. I thought I had another lily in here somewhere. Not quite sure where it would have gone to, but these I got from the mangrove trees. I think they're dead. I'm pretty sure the mangrove trees did not survive. When I was kind of potting some of the repotting the lilies, I kind of was looking at them and seeing if they were solid in the structure that I potted them in. It seemed like they were okay, but I don't see any green on them, and the tops of them are just shriveling. You can see how brown they are. The tops are just shriveling, and like all this area right here, right above the water, that was always kind of a deep green color, and the only green now that I see on it is the algae. So all this right here used to be green, and all I got now is like this little area is green. I can feel it's almost like soft, almost like it's decaying from the inside. So but anyway, this is water lettuce, and again, it's an invasive species, so what's their names will eat that. The turtles will eat that, and they'll also eat that's duckweed right there, the flat plant. Looks like a mini lily. That's a duckweed, and again, the turtles they'll eat the heck out of that stuff. And this is pickerel rush. I already showed you that. That's got a purple flower on it when it gets it. And then where's the water hyacinth? Okay, so these big ones, these are water hyacinths, and they'll have a pretty flower on them when they do flower. But again, these are invasive species down here in Texas, and they will clog up the waterways. They'll clog up them in the water lettuce. They will clog up the waterways, and so they're you're not supposed to have them. But I picked about a bucket of them out of the river and brought them home, and knowing that they'll hopefully keep the algae down a little bit till I get my other water lilies in, and eventually it'll be food for the water turtles, so that the water turtles will leave the water lilies alone. So anyway, we'll see how it works.